Good evening and thank you for joining us. We begin tonight with some surprising figures from the Canada Border Services Agency. Thousands of foreign nationals have tried to get into this country for non-essential reasons, despite those restrictions. The Canada-U.S. border has been closed to most travelers since mid-March, and as Michael Couteur reports, many believe it should stay that way into next year.
Susan Connor and her husband Gary Burnett have been trying to carve out a modest living by selling art in Ottawa's historic Byward Market. This year has been difficult, with the pandemic preventing tourists from coming to Canada.
Our sales are down close to 40%, and I think we're fortunate that that's all it is.
They've seen less foot traffic pass by their stall this summer because of the partial closure of the Canada-U.S. border. However, it seems some people have tested the system. According to statistics from the Canada Border Services Agency, between March 22nd and September 2nd, more than 18,000 foreign nationals were denied entry into Canada because their trips were deemed discretionary. Of those people, a little more than 16,000 were U.S. citizens and more than 2,300 were citizens of other countries arriving from the U.S. Also, over that same period, 448 travelers tried to get into Canada by air, arriving from other foreign countries. In an interview with Global News earlier this week, the leading American expert on infectious diseases questioned the efficacy of the border closure.
You know, sometimes it does have a positive effect of keeping the lid on things, but sometimes, it just doesn't make that much difference. So there is always this argument as to the benefit or not of doing that.
5 Americans with Alaska license plates have been fined for violating the Quarantine Act in British Columbia. They were supposed to take the most direct route back to Washington state, but instead went sightseeing in Vancouver 4 days after entering Canada. Some Canadian doctors believe with a high rate of infection in the U.S., it's better not to reopen the border yet.
When we open the border is a question of considering many factors. I do think that at some point in 2021 it could happen, but I do think it will be in the post-vaccine era.
Now that could be a year away, but Burnett doesn't mind even if his business continues to suffer.
If you don't have health, what do you have?
A simple mantra in such a complicated time. Michael Couteur, Global News, Ottawa.